Hi everyone, it's Creativity here and welcome back to my channel. And in today's Draw With Me video, I'm going to be drawing Willy Wonka from the Wonka film, which came out this year. So when I was thinking about my drawing process for Willy Wonka, I wanted to do this in my anime style because I haven't seen much of anyone doing the anime drawings of famous characters, including book characters from Roald Dahl characters, for example. So I thought, why not try and do it in my anime style and see how it turns out. So right now, as you can see, I'm now sketching out the anime eyes to fit in with the Willy Wonka look. So I kind of sketched out probably the anime eyes and also the eyebrows and a little bit of a a tiny little brow to go with it, like a little bit of facial expression. So I was kind of matching out with the male anime eyes just to fit in with the Willy Wonka look, so I can't wait to see how it turns out. And if you haven't already subscribed to my YouTube channel, I will be doing a lot of arts and crafts content for years to come and even months to come, so stay tuned and also turn notifications. And let's get back into the video. And as you can see, I'm adding the final touches to Willy Wonka. So what I started to do was I started to sketch out Timothy's Willy Wonka's hair. So it's a bit more curled than some of the ones that you might have seen from the other adaptations, from possibly the Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory, and also you've got the Charlie and Chocolate Factory, which is the remake, but it has Johnny Depp in. So what I did after that was that I kind of went with I started to sketch out the hair on the other side, but first of all I started to do was the ears, but in the anime kind of style for that, because I was kind of thinking, well, half of this is going to be anime, and of course it's supposed to assemble Willy Wonka somehow, so I've got to make sure it kind of ties in with the actual movie a little bit. So I've tried to look at references, and hopefully my actual drawing at the end actually looks pretty good and actually matches the standards of the actual movie itself, Wonka, that just came out this December. So after that, I decided to sketch out Willy Wonka's costume from the movie, of course, because I was kind of thinking if I can interpret the costume to just look just like Timothy's one version of Willy Wonka, that would look pretty good. And plus I really enjoyed the movie. It had a lot of more fantasy and probably more musical in it than the previous other two kind of adaptations, because I feel like when you watch the other two adaptations, they kind of slightly differ, but when you watch the newest one right now, it's a little bit different because of it goes back in time instead of going forward and following the kind of storyline. So it's kind of like changing up the kind of the novelty of each film adaptation a little bit. But it was quite good though, because it's kind of good to have someone who writes a book about Charlie and Chocolate Factory and then transforming it into 3 different adaptations for everyone else to watch and see what their views around it. So it is quite interesting. So I would recommend watching the film. If you want to watch it in 2024 or watch it before Christmas, I'll heavily recommend it. So as I was adding more details to Willy Wonka's costume, I was kind of thinking about, I could see a difference straight away with the costume compared to the other two, because it's got a bit more, not just the ordinary purple costume you would think Willy Wonka could actually look like. It kind of has scarlet red kind of feel, so that's what I stuck with. I thought, well, that's something that I've not seen before. Scarlet red versus purple kind of costume for both Willy Wonkas is definitely slightly different, so it's kind of good changing it up a little bit. And past this, Willy Wonka is probably like 22 years old, so it makes him a little bit younger. So he's like a young apprentice in this one. And hopefully, if you guys go and watch the movie, you might be able to find out all the mysteries before Charlie and Chocolate Factory started. So what I was doing next was I was sketching out more likely the scarf, which is pretty unusual, I must say, but it was definitely quite eye-catchy to actually sketch out for myself, really. I didn't know that Willy Wonka had a scarf. And what I was doing was I was trying to line it up with the image reference, what it actually looked like, but it's definitely turned out pretty well how I managed to sketch it out. But of course, it won't be long until I start colouring it in afterwards. So I'll probably colour it in with the colours that I'll see from the image reference, and then just refer them to, and then see if I can do like a comparison and see what happens. So what I decided to do afterwards, I started to sketch out the pants relating to the actual image reference, and it definitely looks more like Elizabethan and also Victorian. So I was quite surprised when I was drawing out the thing and also doing the actual shoes as well. I was quite surprised. But of course you couldn't see much of it because of course I was trying to get the camera in the right angle, but it wasn't in the right angle, so I tried to move it up and down so you could see the feet. So afterwards I decided to add some colour to Willy Wonka by using Winsor Newton Pro markers. So I thought, why not use some skin tones based on that? So that's what I decided to do. I added a bit of skin tone to Willy Wonka, of course, just to give him a little bit of texture. Because what I'm going to do probably afterwards is, after I've done the skin tone part, I'm going to probably colour the whole thing in afterwards. But it might be like, you know, step by step and that stuff. So that's what I'm probably going to do. So I decided to colour in his cloak with scarlet red, which is very referencing to the image reference that I'm following. So I was kind of thinking, well, it definitely has a different kind of texture compared to recent adaptations, but I was quite happy how it all turned out towards the end. So I decided to apply colour to Willy Wonka's hat, hair and also eyes and other features that I've drawn out so far. But the thing is with the actual hat itself, it was kind of like a darker brown colour, but I've got like a lightish brown, so what I had to do later on in this video, for example, I had to change it up by using probably like a Sharpie, but it had dark browns, so that's what I'm going to do like afterwards, so stay tuned. So what I decided to do was I managed to try and fix the mistake that I just made earlier, which was using a light brown colour instead of using the dark one that I was referring to using the image reference. But sometimes you have to take risks as artists, otherwise how are you supposed to get your artwork to look how it is? Sometimes it can be changing the art style, or you have to keep on rubbing things out until you get something you're quite happy with. Sometimes being an artist means you have to face these challenges and also try and find a solution to them. So that's what being an artist is all about, right? So as I continuously coloured in the hat with my Sharpie, I did do the boots as well, but you couldn't actually see it from an angle because sometimes it's hard to get the camera angle the way you want it to, so you can see where the boots are. So you'll be able to see the boots towards the end, so stay tuned. So what I decided to do was, because I wanted to make it look very, anime, I had to outline all the bits that I had done so you can see what it actually looks like towards the end. But the thing is with the Sharpie fine line that I was using, it didn't come out well with the ink, so I had to persevere and actually use a 4B pencil to then get like the darker bits shaded in, so it actually still looks a bit like, it still looks a bit like it's got like a massive outline around it, which is what I was trying to get. And plus I was quite happy how it turned out in the end, because I was like, I managed to get the accuracy quite well with the actual drawing itself. And what I might do next time would be is I would recommend like doing like a digital versus digital kind of video, so stay tuned for that. So what I'm doing now is I'm adding the final touches with the outlining using a 4B pencil that I could find, because as I told you guys a few minutes ago, was that sometimes when you've got a fine liner, sometimes they can run out of ink quite quickly. But if you want to be more sustainable thinking about it, why not use a 4B pencil, which is what I decided to use. So I was able to still outline it, but using a darker shade, which is what I was trying to get. And I was quite happy how Timothye's Willy Wonka turned out in the end. I was quite happy with it. And this is how Willy Wonka actually turned out. I wanted to do like a little preview of how he actually turned out in the end, so you can see the whole drawing overall. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed today's Draw of Me video. It was kind of like a very good idea that I came up with, but I can't wait to do another one soon. Before you go, make sure to leave a like and subscribe to my YouTube channel for more arts and crafts content on this channel, and bye!